this thing and we won on appeal, the company won on appeal, the whole thing would go away. If I didn't do that, I was told, whatever the judgment for Embriola would be, would go to the company, and from the company, since I'm the only one that has the money, it would come to me. And they would take all my life savings away. And I had plans for that, for charity.
And when the bankruptcy court finally closed the doors and turned out the lights, Bob DeBenedictis, even though he was just a tiny little 13% shareholder, stepped in and he saved Christmas, right?
No, I didn't save Christmas. I'll tell you how that came about. You asked me, I came up as a creditor of the company, and it was approved. Over $600,000. Henry Henderson was a creditor. I was a creditor. So I gave a plan to my attorney to present to the bankruptcy judge. And I offered to come up with $3 million to pay the creditors 90 cents on the dollar. Mr. Bursor jumped up and down and went to the bankruptcy trustee and said to him, if you agree with that, if you don't agree with him, because what he wanted to do was give the company until December 31st of last year and close the company, unless the company could be auctioned off. So he went to the trustee, bullied the trustee agreed with his plan, did not agree with my plan. That would have cost me $3 million, but I would have done it. Because everything I got, I looked at it this way. If I got 2 point something from the Triton, I'll get it back. It doesn't matter. And I was happy that the creditors, and I remember one creditor were some people who hadn't gotten their money back yet. They came first. And from that $3 million, they would have gotten, I forget how much, but they were supposed to come first. And then there was the regular flood of product, the people who supply the product. They would have been paid. But everybody would have been paid more than about 90 cents on the dollar. And that's unheard of in bankruptcy court. But he stepped in because he was afraid that he wouldn't get his $40 million. And he bullied the trustee, and the trustee capitulated. That's why I had you asked me the other day, do you have a reorganization plan? Yes, but they wouldn't even hear that.
Mr. DeBenedictis, you used the figure $40 million in your answer.
Well,
where'd you get that figure from?
That's the figure that was given to me after Anthony Embriola lost the case.
Now, at some point in late 2008, it was November or December 2008, you learned that the bankruptcy judge was not going to protect you anymore, right?
Because of what I just said.
Right.
Yes.
And you learned that there was going to be a second trial and you were going to be in that chair, right?
Yes.
And after you learned that, you created the Opportunity Trust, right?
Yes, I did.
And you created the Opportunity Trust so that you could put about $50 million worth of assets into a trust.
It was about 80% of my estate, yes.
And the reason you did that was to try to hide that money from the plaintiffs in this case. Isn't that true?
No, that's absolutely untrue. The Opportunity Trust was an outgrowth of a trust that I started in 1997 and a foundation. All my life, I'm 75 years old, I've had a heart operation, I've had a prostate operation. All my life, I live very simply. All my life, what brought me joy and what is the reason why I have so many friends today is that all I wanted to do was help other people.
So, Mr. DeBenedictis, for many years, you helped others by holding their assets.
I don't understand how would that be holding their assets.
And now you need that help yourself.
I don't understand what you're saying.
And that's what the Opportunity Trust is going to do for you, isn't that right?
Well, I don't understand what you're getting at. Could you please repeat the question slowly?
Sure.
One at a time so I can understand it and answer it correctly.
For Mr. Imbriolo, you held his stock, you held his house, you paid him through a consulting firm so that his creditors couldn't get it, and you held it because no one could get to you.
We have been through this over and over again. I don't know how your mind works, but it's false. False. False.
And that game won't work anymore. So now, all the loot is in the Opportunity Trust, isn't that right?
The Opportunity Trust, this is one more thing. The Opportunity Trust is an irrevocable trust. That means whatever I gave 50 million, I could never get it back. If I win this case, but that's where I want it to be. I gave 80% of everything I own to the Opportunity Trust. Next year, if all goes well, I'm going to give another 10%. I help my nieces and nephews. I put them through college. They don't need anything. They're all grown now. They grew up fine. So from here on out, it all goes to charity. And we're expanding our mission to children's rights, women's rights.
And Mr. DeBenedictis, before the bankruptcy judge took away his protection, you had never given more than about $100,000 in a year.
Well, that's not chicken feed.
No, it's $100,000. But as soon as the bankruptcy judge took away your shield, you gave $50 million.
I'm getting argument. It's a factual question. Can we answer?
Yes, because it was time. It was time.
No further questions.
Conley has some regrets.